here what day we're in. It doesn't seem to appear. So there we go, May 3rd. Okay, are we ready? Tell me when we're ready to go.
Okay, everything is ready to go now. You can go ahead and start the meeting.
Okay, thank you. Welcome everyone to this May 3rd meeting of the Livermore Amador Valley Transit Authority Board of Directors meeting. So we're participating with the teleconference Zoom rules. The how to participate is up on the website and in the meeting agenda item. So here we go. Can I have a call to order, please? I mean, can I have a roll call?
How about a roll call?
Yeah, I'm a roll call.
That you called it to order, yeah.
Yeah.
Commissioner
Vice Chair
Brown
Brown.
is here. Thank you, here.
Director Halbert,
Here.
Director Hernandez,
I'm here.
Director Josie,
Here.
Director Kick,
Here.
Director Narum,
Here.
Chair Warner.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, great. So I'm going to see if there's any public comment. Do we have any members of the public that wish to comment?
We have 2 attendees currently. They don't have their hands raised. If they wanted to, they could raise their hands now. No, there's no comments. And then we didn't get anything via email either for public comment.
Okay, I'll give them another second to raise their hand. Don't see anything. Okay,
No.
I'll close the public comment period. And we're on to the consent agenda. Does anyone care to pull any item, or would somebody like to make a motion?
I'll move approval of the consent agenda. for May
Hernandez
3rd.
will second.
Okay, can we have a roll call, please? A vote.
Vice Chair Brown,
Aye.
Director Halbert,
Aye.
Director Hernandez,
Aye.
Director Josie.
Aye.
Director Kick. Director Kick.
Aye.
Director Narum,
Aye.
Chair Warner.
Aye.
Passes unanimously.
Great. I'm going to rearrange the agenda slightly. So item 5, I'm going to put after the executive director's report. So with that, can we go to item 6?
Yes, I have that agenda item today, and good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're enjoying some good weather out there. So item 6 is in regard to an active air purification device for the LAFTA buses. And just as a quick background, LAFTA, as you're aware, has been really proactive during the pandemic in regard to what we've done with the buses to make them safe. We've done things from ensuring that every bus before it leaves the yard in the morning has been fogged or disinfected, which is a pretty intensive process. We've ensured that the drivers are disinfecting high-touch areas at the end of each run throughout the day. We pop the hatch on the bus to improve air circulation. We've put hand sanitizer on all of the buses. And of course, we've been insisting on a mask and physical distancing. And then finally, we've upgraded our filters in the buses to a MERV 7, which is basically the highest rating air filter you can put on a bus with the manufacturer's blessing. So as you're aware, research is finding that airborne particles are the primary transmitter of the coronavirus. And so not necessarily touching something, but breathing in the microns, the virus is the primary cause. So the transit agencies across the nation and literally across the world have been working towards how do we purify the air in the buses so that the air is safe. And what they've come out with is air purification systems. As noted in your staff report, we had some requirements that we felt were important on an air purification for the buses. It needed to eliminate the germ responsible with the coronavirus. We wanted it safe for everyone on board the bus. We didn't want any odors or harmful residues to be left from the air purification process, and we needed it to have minimal impact on operations. So we've done our research. We've looked at other agencies who have actually tested these air purification devices. And the one that we found that is the best is this United Safety and Survivability Corporation Active Air Purification System. So in essence, it's a module that goes on the inside of the bus. It draws air through the module and purifies the air as it does so. I've got Tone Tron, your Director of Operations and Innovation. He has been the one researching the product. If you have any questions, I've also got a video that shows, kind of demonstrates how the technology works. But long story short, we would like to recommend that the board install these air purification systems on each of your 65 buses that you have in the fleet. The total cost, including installation, is $206,000. And so we recommend that you authorize the executive director to execute a contract and not to exceed that amount. Would just like to make a quick note that although we'll be using TDA funds to purchase the air purification systems, this is one of those projects where we'll certainly be trying to get FEMA to cover the cost of the air purifiers. And I think the last note that I had made on this project is that Gillig has looked at the product and will be offering it on future Gillig bus purchases. And so it's been vetted there and will be a product offering moving forward with new bus purchases. So with that, I'd be happy to take any questions with staff assisting, should you have any.
Any questions? Director Josie.
Thank you. I just had two quick questions. One is, what is the lifespan of these systems over the course of years moving forward? So I'm assuming we don't want to take them out once we put them in. And what is the ongoing maintenance costs for these systems?
Great questions. Tone, you want to take those? I know you've got those.
Sure.
answers.
Yeah. In regard to the first question, the system is designed to last as long as the vehicle. So it's a 12-year asset. The warranty, however, is only good for 5 years. And in terms of the ongoing maintenance, is $300 per year, and that's to pay for the light bulbs. That's included in the unit.
Okay, any other questions? Don't see any. Anybody like to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion.
I'll move that we install these in our buses.
I'll second
Okay,
the
and
motion.
Vice Chair Brown seconds it. Okay, can we have a roll call vote, please?
Vice Chair Brown,
Aye.
Director Halbert,
Aye.
Director Hernandez,
Aye.
Director Josie,
Aye.
Director Kitt,
Aye.
Director Narum,
Aye.
Chair Warner,
Aye,
passes unanimously.
great. We're on to Executive Director's report.
Okay. So this report was provided in the P&S committee, and I'm sure that you're familiar with it in reviewing the packet. Long story short, your ridership is improving. It's of course nowhere near where it was pre-COVID, but it is trending upward slightly. The stats are in your staff report. Really in April of 2021, we had about 1,400 passengers a day. 1,300 passengers, for instance, in March, and 1,200 passengers in February. So it's going up about 100 passengers per month. So that's our biggest effort right now, is just to ensure that when riders are ready to come back, we're ready for them with safety on the buses and convenience. I think some of the biggest ridership gains on the system will certainly be in the fall. we're getting indications that the school services will be coming back in the fall with all the students coming back or having the potential to come back. So our director of planning, he's on vacation this week, but he has been working literally just hand in hand with the school service, the school folks, to make sure that we're ready to go with the services they need. We talked about the air purifiers, the paratransit service. As you're aware, we recently began a partnership with County Connection, where we share the provider, the contractor who does the rides. That's gone really well. If we have any further questions, Tone's here. He's been in charge of that transition. And we have an upcoming meeting in May where I think Rick Ramasir, the executive director at County Connections, just getting a couple of board members ready to meet with a couple of our board members to talk about the metrics and how we measure the performance of that partnership. Some good news, we're in line to receive $4.3 million for rapid bus stop improvements through a combination of efforts. Our wizard with ACTC and MTC, Jennifer Yeamans, has an agenda item that's after this one, but she certainly can give you more information on that. It's just a great news in regard to a continuing effort to make sure our stops are immaculate and representative of our premium service. There's other projects that are listed here. Be happy to answer any questions you have. Everything's just moving forward steadily. In regard to earmarks and the reauthorization bill that's quickly being discussed in committees back in Washington. We're still pushing to get funding for Gillig for hydrogen planning and hydrogen technology on future buses that they produce. Also, Congressman Swalwell has put in $10 million into the reauthorization discussion for Atlantis, your future operations and maintenance facility. So that's moving along nicely. But with that, knowing that there's some real hard deadlines here coming up for board members that need to be off the call by 4:30, I'd be happy to kind of hang it up and answer any questions you have.
Okay, good. I've got a quick question. You mentioned that you're still pushing for the earmark on the hydrogen. I thought Swalwell had released his preliminary list. Is it on that? Do you know?
I have not seen the list. ACTC is actually the agency that has requested the funding, and then it got kind of a #1 priority of support from both LAFTA and County Connection. So I'll take a look this evening and get out information that might be available. I had not heard from ACTC whether or not that was.
Okay, if you could just check and tell us if it's on the list or not, it'd be helpful.
Yeah, you bet.
Any other questions? Okay, so then we'll flip to item 5, the signal priority upgrade project, and you're going to get that done in 5 minutes. Or less?
Or less, depends on how many questions people have. So, so I'll take this one and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So bear with me here just a moment. All right, can we see that there?
Yes.
Okay, so at a previous meeting, a director had requested an update on LAFTA's transit signal priority system. So this is kind of just a brief overview and a summary of the project we accomplished last year to upgrade and expand the system. Just in brief, TSP extends green lights for priority vehicles. This could be either low or high priority calls. Our vehicles use low priority requests. Emergency vehicles like police and fire trucks can use high priority requests to actually bypass the signal timing altogether. Our low priority requests will just ask for an extended green when we're approaching the intersection so that we don't spend extra time in delay at intersections. And in general, when we can deploy the system, this technology system wide, we increase our operational efficiency, like we save on fuel, and we improve the reliability of our travel times, which is helpful for riders trying to make connections. So just real quick, basically TSP enables vehicles to communicate with intersections. There's equipment on board the buses, there's equipment at the intersection, and then there's communications stuff inside the traffic signal cabinet. This illustration shows both the way that the older infrared system works, which is an optical based system. It works a lot like the remote control to your TV, meaning you got to point it at the thing for it to see it. But sometimes if you point it at it and you don't get the response you were expecting, you're not sure why. We've just upgraded to a GPS-based system, which is a totally different technology that has a lot of benefits, but it generally works the same basic way, which is there's an onboard piece on the vehicle, there's a receiver at the intersection, and then there's what's going on in the traffic signal cabinet that actually controls the traffic signal and grants that extended green. Just real quick, the benefits of the GPS-based technology. This picture actually shows one of the new little antennas that we installed. It will only be on when vehicles are detected in the range of the intersection. So the optical system is always on the lookout for vehicles, but this one only turns on when it senses a vehicle's nearby. The biggest difference with GPS is probably that it can integrate real-time schedule information with the vehicle's location and basically know if the vehicle is running on time or if it's running late. If the vehicle's running on time, it doesn't request the extended green. If the vehicle is running 3 or more minutes late, it will request the extended green. Through the system, we also get real-time monitoring of the system. So we basically know at all 67 intersections whether the equipment is working as expected or not. This also works alongside the existing infrared system that the buses used from 2010 onwards, and that is still used by police and fire. And the optical system is still used by the Q-jump signals that you will see at a few of the intersections on Dublin Boulevard, and then the one at Stanley and Murrieta. So around the same time that the new GPS technology became available, we were also in the midst of the COA that realigned and expanded our rapid routes. So this was a good opportunity to reconfigure and redeploy the TSP system and improve it system-wide. In 2017, we secured $1.14 million from the Tri-Valley Transportation Council to upgrade and expand the TSP system to make it GPS-based at 67 intersections across the Tri-Valley. And that work was completed last year in 2020. And you can see, it may be a little hard to see, but every sort of colored dot along here, along Santa Rita and Pleasanton and along Dublin Boulevard, and all these blue dots in Livermore got new traffic signal equipment. And we also upgraded the onboard equipment on all 24 of our rapid buses. We also deployed the new central management software, which provides us back at the office with real-time operating and monitoring data. So as you could probably guess, the immediate impacts of the system weren't really easy to detect in 2020 because there was almost no traffic congestion for most of the year. We know that as traffic congestion returns, we will accrue more benefit to the system, especially places like Dublin Boulevard, Railroad and Stanley and Livermore. And overall, increasing the trip time reliability for passengers and enabling them to know with confidence that they're going to be making their timed transit connections. These will be our keys to success for the system overall. So that is my overview, and I would be happy to take any questions.
Great overview. Thank you. Any questions? Director Narum.
Thank you. Just one quick question. When you mentioned the range of the signal, I just was curious how far that is or what that range is in terms of a number.
It varies. It's a programmable parameter. So a guy actually goes out there and points the thing where he's expecting the bus to be. So I don't want to give you a number because, intersection sizes can vary so much, but there's a fair degree of precision to it so that it detects the bus only where it's supposed to be and not other places, if that makes sense. I mean, let's say within 30 to 50 feet of the intersection.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of what I was looking for. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions?
Director Kick has a question.
Okay,
So thank you for this explanation and presentation. Can we advertise this a little bit? Because you're less likely to miss your connection now when like just talk up the fact that we're improving our system, and maybe we can encourage people to get back on the bus, and this is the good way to do that. And then how does this does, I'm assuming, interact with the transit app to let us know where the bus is, correct?
They are working off of the same backend data, which is our GTFS data. So it's working off the same data set.
Awesome. So that as a layperson, that seemed maybe true, but it is true. So saying like, yes, it'll help your buses be on time, and it interacts with the transit app. And then I have another question about the app, but that's not really what's agendized, so I'll just wait.
okay, any other questions? I have one question I didn't quite understand. If it's GPS based and there's a back end computer, it knows where the traffic signal is and it knows where the bus is. So you don't have to go to the traffic signal and point at anything to tell it, right? I mean, you just program into the system how close to that intersection do you want to trigger this. You would, right? You just use a map. You don't have to go anywhere.
Well, there is an antenna at the traffic signal that is detecting whether the bus is nearby or not.
Oh, okay. So it's not a GPS system then.
Well, it's using GPS in the sense that I think that because there's the real-time component of this is where the bus is this where the bus is supposed to be based on its published schedule?
Oh, okay. I'll let it go. But I mean, it seems that GPS knows where the bus is. And GPS also knows where the traffic signal is. But you're telling me there's now the bus has to directly communicate with the signal. It's not going through GPS necessarily. It's going through the antenna from the signal to the bus. But anyway, I'll leave it go. But I didn't quite get it. But if you want to send out a little technical how this works, that would be good.
I'm sure I can find something.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? If not, I think, I'd say, do we have any matters initiated by the board? I don't see any, and so therefore we're going to adjourn until our next meeting on June 7th. Yes.
Bob, you have Director Kick's hand is raised.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
I know Bob and I both have to go to the same meeting. I get it, but I just wanted to check in. When do you know when the Clipper card is going to be online for everybody? I think it was like rolled out on iOS, Android. Can we get an update on that? Just online Clipper at some point in an email would be great.
Okay. Any other items initiated? If not, we're adjourned until June 7th, 2021. Thank you. Bye.